I shall move to approve as written, presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Public hearing for a conditional use permit at 2701 Enlow Street for Helmer Dance. This is a public hearing, and it is your opportunity to comment on this project or this issue. And if you do have a comment, please step forward to the microphone, identify yourself, your address. Please try to keep comments brief. Try not to repeat other people's comments. It's a public hearing, so this is Zoom. Do we have Zoom?
There's no one on Zoom.
No one? Okay. All right. Does anybody have a comment? Any comment? Any comment? Any comment?
Move to close.
And I second.
We got a motion and second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Public hearing is closed. Development expansion plans and a conditional use permit at 2701 Enlow Street, Helmer Dance.
So to keep it brief, Helmer Dance is proposing an expansion at their existing building facility and also looking to apply for a conditional use permit update amendment for their indoor recreation dance facility in the St. Croix Business Park. The building expansion would comprise approximately 1,985 square feet of addition on the northwest side. No updated changes in operation are proposed, so staff is recommending approval.
Move to approve in consideration with the conditions noted.
I'll second.
We got a motion and second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Final development plans and certificate of compliance at 2040 Maxwell Drive, Gerard Development LLC.
So the Gerards submitted their final development plans along with certificate of compliance for the construction and operation of a multifamily apartment building at 2040 Maxwell. The final plans include updated architectural plans, updated civil plans, more complete stormwater report memo, landscape plans, site lighting plans, and a fire truck turning radii plan. Staff recommends approval of the final development plans with the noted stipulations in the report.
I have a question, if I may ask.
Yeah.
Maybe this is to the owner. Is the building gonna match the existing building that you have? Are you gonna complement that, be the same, or are you doing something different? Out of curiosity, I wanted to ask.
Very good question, Fred. Paul Gerard, 100 North 6th Street, La Crosse, Wisconsin. The answer to the question is it will be the same with the exception of the flat roof. Everything else remains the same, and then we're pulling out the commercial portion.
Why the flat roof? The other one you have a,
The flat roof, we're taking advantage of the flat roof for the solar panels.
oh,
So,
Great.
so.
You say you're pulling out the commercial portion of what, the existing building, or?
The zoning allows us to just do multifamily there, because we came back and, I want to say 2019, rezoned the parcel because we were having such a difficulty with commercial. So this building is straight multifamily, seniors, it's restricted, except it'll have a flat roof.
Your drawings, the existing building, there's a parking lot on the south side, but I'm not seeing that on your drawings here. What happens to that parking lot?
The parking lot's being redirected to, so both properties will share in the parking lot.
It's like a 6-car on the south side of the existing building.
Yes, correct, yep. So it's expanded, sir, to, I think there's 18 or 20 stalls there.
All right, all right.
you basically got a 2-to-1 ratio though, right?
Yes,
Of
yes, yep,
Residences to parking?
yeah. And the new building will actually have, it will be subterranean, heated, conditioned parking, and there are 30 stalls in that building.
No potential storefront type things like
No.
some of your other stuff?
No, sir.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Paul. Downtown design review at 210 2nd Street, Circle K.
So the applicant, on behalf of the business owner, is rebranding the Holiday gas station to Circle K. This project involves refacing existing signs, installing new signs, and refacing the gas station canopy. Particularly involves canopy redesign, installation of 2 illuminated wall signs in the building's south facade, refacing existing freestanding sign while retaining the electronic message display area as approved by variance. Installation of 1 illuminated wall sign on the east facade, another one on the west facade, 1 non-illuminated wall banner on the north facade, and 3 non-illuminated directional signs around the site. Aside from the signage, the proposal also includes the request to install some blue LED tube lighting around the freestanding sign and white LED eyebrow lighting around the exterior of the canopy. Staff is recommending denial of these extra lighting designs in order to keep the historic nature of downtown building facades preserved and as a means of complying with the lighting ordinance. Otherwise, all signage complies with municipal code and is recommended for approval.
Question.
Yeah,
That falls out of the waterway ordinance?
it does. It's just on the other
the
side
other
of
side of the
Second
street?
Street, so it doesn't.
Thought that, okay.
Yeah.
I figured that. I like the fact that they're denying the perimeter lighting. You see that sticks out like a sore thumb at night.
Yeah.
I've seen it on other buildings. I'll move to approve with city conditions, if that's appropriate.
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve with those conditions.
I have a question
Yep.
on this. Is this, what they have proposed here for lighting, is this more than what is currently in the site right now?
Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Is it, how much more, like
So they're,
another?
so the proposal would be adding light to the freestanding sign perimeter as well as around the canopy. So right now there's lighting underneath the canopy, but this would add additional, they call it eyebrow lighting in their plan, but that would be on the perimeter of the canopy as well. I don't know to what extent, how much more it adds, but I know like if we were to approve it, I would have the condition of approval stating that a lighting plan would be needed so that we could verify to what extent that additional lighting capacity would.
And then does
add.
that lighting stay on all night? Or is it just during business hours? How's that work?
It looks like we have the applicant here tonight if he wants to come to the podium and kind of explain that for you.
Welcome.
Hi, Trent Nolan, Nolan Sign Company, representing Corporate ID Solutions. So regarding the eyebrow canopy lighting, what that is, it's down lighting pretty much on the parking lot, so it's really a safety thing. There's a diffuser that goes on the canopy to deflect any sort of light that's coming off of the canopy. And then there's also a ledge on the front of it, so it can't shine out to the road. So it's pretty much just a safety thing, and then to just complement the canopy. But other than that, that's all that would be getting added to the canopy itself. And then the blue rod, they want to implement like still the Holiday look, just because it's such a popular brand. And then Holiday has had blue rod LED perimeter for forever. So I believe the one here currently does not have that, but they're trying to make everything brand specific throughout the country.
Will they shut that off at night then when the stores close?
It can be on a separate circuit, same with the canopy.
I asked, will they shut that off?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have to specify that it's going to be shut off?
I'd say that we should.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be clear, the staff recommendation had approval exclusive of the LED tubing and the eyebrow lighting, like not to be included at all.
Right.
Oh, well then that solves the
So I don't
problem.
know how you
Oh.
want,
Taken care of.
you know, 'cause
Taking
that's
care of
what
it. Excuse me.
the motion, you know, would be, but if you did want to allow it, that would be.
So I have a
Oh,
further
we were
question that you're speaking of the safety lighting. Tell us more about that.
So what it is the lighting gets mounted on top of the canopy. And then there's LED lights that shine down towards the parking lot, just for added lighting on the perimeter of the canopy, pretty much the footprint around on the bottom.
And there is existing lighting there.
There's canopy
now.
lights underneath for the gas pumps and stuff, but this kind of shines like the perimeter of the,
So safety in regards to just
just anything, yeah, just more lighting.
nothing specific.
No.
And your
Okay, and then what you're excluding is that what he was just talking about, those lights?
Any lights? Yeah, so I don't, you guys might want to, the
It's
motion.
already excluded.
It's
I
already,
want to know,
Yeah,
is
it's
that,
already excluded by staff recommendation. I don't know if you
yeah, that's
You'd
part of,
want
that's
to
what we're.
amend to include the eyebrow lighting for safety or
I
not?
think
or
we're wanting to
just
remove it.
not have it?
Well,
You remove the motion, right?
just going by the staff recommendation?
Well, I will withdraw my motion then, if, you know, to redo it.
Okay,
Well, I think you should talk about the safety issue a little bit more. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, we can, but then we can reintroduce it again on via another motion, correct?
yeah.
Let's do it that way.
all right.
I withdraw my motion.
So you got another question, Randy?
No, I just want to understand how this downlighting's working and if it's prepared to illuminate as much as possible for at night for safety. I mean, that's a good thing.
Well, it's out on the perimeter of the, it's near the sidewalk, right?
No, I'm talking on the canopy.
It's on the canopy, under the gas pump, above the gas pumps.
So I'm guessing the eyebrow light and the canopy light, two totally separate locations. Canopy
Yeah.
lighting is the safety, security
Underneath,
lighting. and
that's
the
already there,
And
and
the
then-
eyebrow is on the building itself.
Not on the building,
Oh.
just on the canopy.
The eyebrow's
So
on the
there's-
canopy.
Yep. So there's canopy lights underneath already, and then this would be adding the lighting on the perimeter of the top of the canopy.
Do you run a camera system there, you know, for drive-offs and things like that? Is that part of the
That's a
reason for that?
sign guy.
He's the
Yeah,
sign
I'm
guy.
just the sign guy.
Oh,
So I'm sorry, can you explain where the eyebrow lighting is
I
then?
have a picture here if that would help you, if I can pass that around.
Because if anybody feels uncomfortable driving under a dark canopy, this will illuminate.
Well, but the lighting's gonna
Canopy's
exist under
already
the canopy, you said
lit.
it's going around the perimeter of the canopy.
No, but it's directed down, he said.
yeah, but there's
Yeah, but
already
there's
lights
already
doing.
lighting.
lighting the gas pumps.
There's
already-
It's
It
nothing
adds-
different than what they already have.
Oh, it just lightly illuminates the
What the eyebrow lighting will do essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, what it'll do is it'll add additional lighting beyond the canopy. From
the site.
Beyond underneath it. Right, so it'll expand to all the pavement area.
Yes, just around the perimeter.
Yeah, so,
Not like a spotlight where it's gonna shine out in the parking lot underneath.
That's the image.
but
The eyebrow is the
with that
top
being
of the
said,
light.
I would still request, if we do go forward with this eyebrow lighting, that we have a lighting plan or photometric plan provided, just so we make sure that that's meeting our lighting ordinance. Because we do have to
Yeah, I
make sure
understand.
that any
There's
lighting that
already-
goes beyond
There's already canopy lighting underneath there that
right of
exists.
way, or goes to the center line of the right of way, can't be more than 1 foot candle in measurement, so. That's my only additional consideration.
You know, we got a lot of conversations going on here. I apologize, Tiffany, could you repeat that?
Yeah, so what we did was we clarified what the eyebrow lighting pretty much means is that it'll expand the downward cast lighting to all the pavement area in the parking lot beyond the canopy. So it's not just underneath the canopy, it's beyond that. So with that being said, I would add a recommendation of approval for consideration for the Plan Commission that a photometric lighting plan be provided by the applicant or sign company so that we can verify that that meets our lighting ordinance.
And then could they be separated? Could we approve, say, the canopy lighting over, and exclude the eyebrow lighting? If that,
Well, the canopy is already there. What you would be approving would be conditionally the eyebrow lighting on the periphery of the canopy itself. But the downcast underneath the canopy is already there, so that's
okay.
not part of the consideration.
Then I amend my approval based on your statements to include
With the photometric plan condition.
that, please. And so we can do what everybody's a little concerned about here, which I am also.
Okay.
If, I don't know how to word it.
I don't know. So, just 1 second. In your picture,
Yes.
where exactly, what are we talking about here on the picture?
So on the top of this can, it's,
Is it the red?
yeah, so you can see how it's got a light, like haze on it. So there's actually a lighting fixture mounted on top of this canopy right now, that you can't really see. that shines down. So it's mounted right on the top of the canopy and it shines down. So,
So it shines through, there's a space there that it shines down through?
yeah, it's like a 4-inch fixture that gets mounted on top of the canopy and it shines down.
So it kind of helps for branding as well.
Correct.
So does it illuminate the red then?
Yes.
Yes, but now it's not backlit, it's lit on the top, so it shines externally onto the red, down to the ground.
It's more of a, it's a branding
Why don't you
light.
pass the
Yeah,
picture?
we haven't seen it down here.
Are you saying where the red is, that's not backlit? or
It's more
it
of
is
a
not
branding
backlit?
thing than a safety thing.
So the only,
The only thing that's backlit on the canopy.
It's
is
a,
the
it's a
circle
branding
K.
thing, it's not a safety issue.
so how does the red, the lighting you're talking about then
It's down behind.
illuminates the red at night?
Top. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, otherwise you're not gonna see the red?
You just turn it off at night, that's all.
Well, it's not safety, it's branding, so.
Yeah.
Then I'd like to have the hours on it, even though the lights, we're not gonna allow that light? Is that what you're still saying?
My recommendation before was to exclude the eyebrow lighting.
Do others have it in town?
That's a little bit different than the
So,
downtown.
right, so. Yeah, but
River
based
Way.
on like the historic guidelines of design for downtown, we do have a stipulation in there stating like despite branding for companies, downtown is exempt from that requirement for companies. So like you guys get to dictate how those sites look, not the brand.
So the Circle K sign on the canopy itself is illuminated,
Correct.
but then the rest of the red, the solid red, is not only, it would be illuminated only if that light was shining?
Correct, yep.
Okay. So there would be it would still be branded with that Circle K lighting.
Right,
Just no,
Just
the
not
rest
the
of the
red.
red would not be illuminated.
yeah.
Right.
All right, what's the motion?
Well, as I said, with the wording that Tiffany introduced that we should put in there, I would like to move ahead with that clause of what we need to look out for. I don't know how you said that, but,
As recommended then,
excuse me?
as recommended.
Yeah, as recommended by the city. And I still am open on the hours thing, that if it's open after 11, I don't want that thing shining all night long.
Does it now?
Then that would be the original
But that's
recommendation.
separate from that, or we don't need to worry about it because of
Because it'd be out of it.
out of it. Okay, well then I take those comments off the table,
Okay.
as I just said that.
Without the eyebrow lighting or the blue LED lighting, neither of them.
The original recommendation,
Yeah.
Or is,
right?
It's
Staff
no, it's
recommendation.
no. Yeah, no,
We're going with staff recommendation. That's the motion.
correct.
good conversations, everyone.
All right.
Second.
All right, we have motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I was a little confused.
So it's denied, right? Is that what
The signs themselves were approved, except for the lighting. The eyebrow lighting and the blue LED was not.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Forward a recommendation of the common council to set a public hearing for rezoning at 1103 Summer Street from R2 two-family residential to B1 local business and a comprehensive plan land use amendment from medium-density residential to neighborhood commercial.
So I don't know how deep you guys want to get into discussion on this item. Essentially, all it is just requesting you guys forward a recommendation of setting a public hearing date to the council for this application to rezone.
All right, so I do have a couple questions. I've talked to Mike a little bit about this, and I don't know that I got a definitive answer on it or not. But no, I do know I did not get a definitive answer. Rezoning here, are you guys familiar with this issue?
Very much.
Okay. Rezoning here is kind of permanent. You know, I mean, it's kind of hard to undo, right? And we're gonna put commercial right in the middle. I don't know that I like the way you're looking at me. We're gonna put commercial right in the middle of this neighborhood. And currently they have a special use permit. Is that true?
Yes.
That expires 1 year if there's no
Yeah,
use.
yeah, it's expired.
Yep.
All right, so isn't there, I know that we're having a public hearing on this, but I think I'd like to, is there a way to, is there a way to expand this public hearing? Is there something else that could be done other than rezoning? Can't we issue, once again, a special use permit? Now that this one's what'd you say?
Expired.
Expired? I was gonna say retired, but.
No, expired.
So now that this one's expired, can't we just issue another special use permit? Can we, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
So, based on our current zoning code, the way it is laid out, we can't do special use permits for non-permitted uses at sites. So because this one pretty much expired,
Yeah.
we can't go back and renew it for a non-permitted use on a site based on the current zoning of R2.
Is that what we just passed recently, the new rezoning, or the new code? Is that taken care of in that? No? Okay, never mind. What about a public, or I'm sorry, conditional use permit, same thing?
Same thing. So like special use permits were like the old version of a conditional use permit.
conditional use permit, okay.
Yeah.
May I say a thing or two? too?
Yeah.
Am I interrupting you? If I am, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Not everybody's been here for as long as some of us else, but we kind of made a general effort and intent to stop the creep of businesses into the residential areas. And that was mainly intended for the downtown area because we were getting requests for hair salons, this, that to be on 7th Street, 8th Street, 9th, wherever. 6th Street, all these things. And we kind of came to a conclusion, we need to stop that. These are residential areas. And that's what the residents want. Well, if we kind of took that approach, and it's unofficial, it's not written, it's just this is what we should be doing for the city type approach, is I feel the same should be true of what's the difference because it's on the hill. To stop the approach of commercial properties in residential areas. That place originally was built, was Dr. Turner's dental office and his residence. That's what it was back in the 60s. Somehow over time it got converted into that, and it's, Zuli's truck line, or the old truck line here that's just been sold, used to be across the street, Valley.
Cartage.
They're gone, and of course now it's the funeral home, and the rest of that area is just completely residential. And so it would be my opinion that I feel strongly we would want that to remain residential and not allow commercial in there.
Okay, so, but, I mean, we're not debating that right now, but I get it.
Okay.
All right, I mean, the issue right now is we're just setting up a public hearing.
Okay.
And I was just exploring the parameters of that public hearing, wondering.
I'm sorry, then I completely digressed, I'm sorry.
No problem. It's good to know how you feel.
Well, I wanted to introduce it if you haven't heard it.
I can expand a little more, though.
Sure.
Into your point, if you'd like. So, you did mention like the conditional use permit aspect of it. With the rezoning to a B1, it would heavily limit the type of business that could be performed to just a neighborhood commercial type of entity. So there's only 4 permitted uses in our current existing permitted uses table for uses that would be permitted. Anything beyond that's either not permitted or requires a conditional use permit or certificate of compliance, which
we
would
don't want those.
give the ability for city council to set additional parameters that are reasonable and measurable by statute to be met.
Tiffany, say what those are, because they're here. And I know those residents don't want any of those up there as well.
Yeah, for the record, you want me to note it?
Yeah, unless you want me to. The hair salon, barbers, laundromat, retail business, but who knows what that would be,
Right.
and shoe repair shops.
Well, we need those.
Once again, the point stands, our zoning code's a bit outdated,
yeah.
it needs some help, but.
I just ran to the.
I hope if people are watching, entrepreneurs out there are paying attention here. You know, everybody here wants us to have a shoe shop.
I
in
need a
town.
shoe.
Yeah, we need a cobbler.
We need a cobbler big time.
I just went to the cobbler in Stillwater today again.
All right, so, thank you for that. Again, the issue here is just, are we going to set a date for a public hearing? And then this will all be hashed out, and come back to us.
So what do we need to move it forward?
Just,
What is that?
motion to approve the public hearing.
What is the public hearing going to do?
Discuss the issue.
And
It-
how is it different than what already did happen?
Oh, I don't know.
So like
It's
neighborhood.
different than the neighborhood meeting, but is.
It is. It's more of a formal aspect. The neighborhood meeting's meant to be more of an informal meeting between the applicant group and the neighborhood residents themselves to work on, communicating between both entities to determine how they could maybe come to an agreement by negotiation,
And I was at
mitigation
that.
of any type of, yeah. and
I was
you were-
at that meeting and there is not, by the way, my name is not Molly Morissette.
You
That's how it was written somewhere.
It is now.
look like Molly Morris.
Molly?
But I was
That's
at
just
the
what was
meeting,
given to staff.
and those
Golly
neighbors
Molly.
are passionate about this issue, and they do not want anything.
They are.
out there.
They are, there's no doubt.
And they will fill the room on the public hearing. and-
So the public hearing is what we just had here earlier. that
Right.
Nobody
Nobody
testified to
showed,
this
right.
one. Yeah.
But
What?
the rezoning public hearings are held at council.
Before the meeting.
So the rezoning public hearing would be set for a council date, but the item would come back to plan commission first for recommendation to
Likely
council.
at the next September
September
4th Plan Commission meeting is when you guys would consider it.
So what happens if you deny or we,
You could forward a recommendation of denial to council then, and then they'll still have that public hearing, let the public speak their piece, and
I think
then-
he's asking about denial of the public hearing in
Right.
itself.
Oh.
I
Oh, I'm,
mean,
I mean, are you recommending a public hearing? Is that what you're
I would
recommending?
recommend a public hearing because they did apply, they filled out all the paperwork appropriately, they paid the fees to do
Proceed with the
this.
process.
And it
to be
seems like
considered.
good practice to allow everybody to be on record,
Right.
regardless of the neighborhood meeting.
It's good practice just to let everyone who does fairly apply have that ability to get the platform they requested. So that's how staff perceives it, but,
I'll move to approve a public hearing for this subject
okay.
at a future date, whenever, I don't, you set a date, but if you have, I didn't hear it. Whenever you want it.
When is that date?
It'd probably be
September?
the second council meeting in September, or
Is that the
maybe the
16th?
first meeting in October, depending how hearing notices play out in the paper.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Just a quick point of information. I think that he needs to have a process where if we know that this is not going to go any further, or if it would be denied, but believe me, due process needs to be heard
Yeah.
for the project, and I agree with that 100%. But at some point, the developer may just say, that's it. I'm done, I'm not going to do it. So if there's a trigger mechanism to help facilitate an earlier exit, to not absorb money, staff time, et cetera, that would be kind of nice, instead of wasting people's time and money.
We could actually look into that for the zoning code update too, that way.
Okay.
I agree. I do think it'd be nice to save staff time and applicants their money, like, we
But I'm-
get that complaint all the time.
one more question. So if this were to go ahead, if they said, yeah, the public hearing, would they have to do a traffic study for this since it's changing the type of business? Would that be?
It
would
was
that
a
be
conditional, and then last time we had that conditional, it didn't need it was the same type of business going in up on the hill.
Are you
When it-
talking about the certificate of compliance with Crew Car Wash?
Right,
that?
yeah.
So that was required because that was a specific, we knew the specific land use that was going to be.
But right, we had said,
operating
but if a restaurant was going into the green mill.
If a restaurant
Then it
was
was
going in there,
not.
then it wasn't gonna be required because that was a
Right.
permitted use.
Right.
I know, we shouldn't
What-
be.
For everything that I heard at the council is not, and it's just not even relevant here, but is that we probably would have needed a traffic study if a different restaurant were to go in there, especially if it had a drive-through.
Oh.
I think now that we've identified there are issues with the intersections there now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so,
But we
So,
could
but-
require a traffic study.
But you could.
Absolutely.
You could.
anybody else? All right, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. I don't have anything. Anybody?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody. See you down in the park.